It is with profound sadness that we announce the passing of Veronique Savery, also known as Veronica Savery or VOOM, originally of West Hall Group V4 but resided at Clark Street V4, who passed away at the St. Jude Hospital on Wednesday, 26 November 2025 at the age of 91. She was predeceased by her husband, Prince Albert Hunt Savery, also known as Arpat. Her daughters, Mary Mark, also known as Sandra of St. Paul's Lane in V4, Lauren Savery of Bruceville V4, son Francis Joseph, also known as Ozzy, who resided in New York at the time of his passing, grandson Nelson Savery, also known as Cheese of V4, sisters Geraldine Mark, also known as Gaggin of Westall Group, Winfreda Joseph, also known as Kate of Larissus V4, Magdalene Lorenzen, also known as Tita of London, Helen James of Larissus V4, Thelma Mark of Bruceville, Judy Joseph of Westall Group, Cynthia James, also known as Amelia of V4, brothers, James Mark, also known as Blur, Joseph Mark, also known as Shom, Tony Mark, also known as Nickel, Peter Mark, also known as Apie of Larissus V4, niece Siretta Bless James of St. Croix, left to mourn, children, Anatha Savery, better known as Martha of Bruceville, Dean Savery, better known as Chocks of Bruceville, Douglas Savery, better known as Yellowman, residing in New York, Joanna Savery of Bruceville, Ophia Savery, better known as Ojack of Bruceville, Milsa Savery of Ye4, Enisha Savery Sigobin, better known as Bear Bear of V4, sons-in-law Kelvin Sigobin of V4, Gibson O'Geese of Opicon, daughters-in-law Theodora Gilbert of V4, Celine Colmore, residing in New York. Grandchildren including Rosha Thomas of V4, Malika James Jones of Bruceville, Titoya Savery, residing in New York, Peterson Savery of V4, Regina Savery of V4, Mikesh Savery, also known as T-Boy of St. Paul's Lane V4, Megash Savery, also known as Tiffy of St. Paul's Lane, Asia Savery of Bruceville, Malcolm Savery, also known as Sam, originally from Paul's Lane, residing in England, Dania Savery of New Dock Road in V4, Kirsten Savery of Bruceville, employee of Jeannot Credit Union, Liam Savery, also known as Cyril of Bruceville, Nola Savery of Auger, Britannia Sempre, also known as Chanel of Bruceville, Dylan Gilbert, Dela Gilbert, both of Bruceville, Atlas Dormant, also known as Douglas of Ye4, Melvin Savery, also known as Pickbull of Latuni, Kamal Savery, residing abroad, Charles Savery of the U.S., Shaziah Savery of the U.S., Latifah Savery of Bruceville, Lester Savery of Bruceville, Jamie Savery of Ye4, Ashley Savery of Ye4, Nathan Savery of Bruceville, Sarah Charles of Ye4, Duncan Savery of Ye4, Veronica O'Geese of Opicon, Tishaka Griffith of Bruceville, Kantia Shabatisa of V4, teacher at the V4 primary school, Neela Savery of V4, Shem Hutchinson of Bruceville, Bertilia Louisi of Bruceville, Berthia Louisi of Bruceville, Chanel Joseph, Imran Joseph, both of V4, Greta Joseph, Chanel Boyce, Karine Marthin, Kavina Sigobin of V4, Kern Sigobin of VA4, employee of St. Jude's Hospital. Francis Johnson, Florine Hoffman in the UK. Great-grandchildren including Jade Thomas of VA4, Nakeem Jones, Milito Jones, both of Bruceville, Trey Alexander of the US. O'Neill Williams of VA4, Angelica Williams of VA4, Jamina Savery of VA4, Gina Joseph of VA4, Makeda Daniel of VA4, Miranda Savery of Bruceville, Jeremiah Savery of Bruceville, Nalia Savery of Bruceville, Elisa Phillip of New Dock Road, Javari Phillip, also known as Easton of New Dock Road, Marlon Savery of New Dock Road, Davia Charles of New Dock Road, Tristan Alphonse of Bruceville, Geneva Savery of Bruceville, Maya Chitoli of OG, Dwayne Dormant of VA4, Steffler Stephen in the US, McKay Louise of Bruceville, Amina Joseph of Bruceville, Aaliyah Joseph of Bruceville, Erika Griffith of VA4, Solomon Griffith of Bruceville, Shai Griffith of New Dock Road, Adonaisha Batiste of VA4, Kenelia Richard of Bruceville, Chavez Hutchinson of Bruceville, Rochelle Savery, Imani Joseph, Lloyd Baptiste Jr., Aiden Antoine, Ari Antoine, Nelwyn Boyce, Norwin Boyce, Winella Boyce, Winora Boyce, Jadel Lionel, Nazri Edwin, 2 great-great-grandchildren, nieces and nephews, Joyce Mark and family of New York, Greta Mark and family of VA4 New York, Mary Mark, also known as Merlin and family of New York, Esma Mark and family of Bruceville, Caroline Mark and family of Bruceville, Lindell John and family of George Shine Drive VA4, Myrna Joseph, also known as Diane and family of Larissus VA4, Simona Alfred and family of New York, Kenneth Mark and family of St. Croix, Larissus and Latony, Francis James, also known as Sparrow and family of New York, Ken James and family of Castries in North Carolina, Melcher James, also known as Mello of Larissus V4, Robert Mark and family of Diamond V4, John Mark, also known as Buko and family of V4, Dennis Mark, also known as Marlon Obage and family of Larissus V4, Sharon Jules and family in Texas, Rydell Mark and family of the UK, children and family of deceased sister Magdalene Lawrenson, also known as Tita of London, children of deceased aunts Afam and Apo, Mayal and Magdalene and family of Castries and Marigot. Close friends including Raphael Perry, also known as Raki, Elizabeth Charles, also known as Bet, Anne Duranty. Also left to mourn are the Savery family here and abroad, the Marthray family of Labrie, Taylor and Clovis family of Payro, the Mark family here and abroad, James family here and abroad, the Alfred and Arthur family both here and abroad, the William family of Marigot and abroad, the Jules family of Texas, the Moffat family of VA4, the Gabriel family of VA4, the St. Catherine family of VA4, Afe and family of Payro, members of Sacred Heart Confraternity, Mount Carmel and Holy Cross, family and friends both here and abroad, too numerous to mention. The funeral service for the late Veronique Savery, also known as Veronica Savery or VOOM, will be held on Monday, 29 December 2025 at the Lady of the Assumption Catholic Church, VA4 at 2 p.m. She will be laid to rest at the Michael O'Brien Private Cemetery. The body now lies at Lazarus Funeral Home, New Dock Road, V4. May her soul rest in eternal peace.